He's crazy.
점프 샷 player.
I think he's Hulk. I think he's Hulk.
Yeah, this was celebrate and from. A lot of 18s here wanted to hear from. How was it, 18? Were you happy to hear it?
Okay. Yeah. 18에. Can I question? Okay. 18이, do you like selfie? With 80s? Okay, to remember this moment, so let's take a selfie together.
18, do you know 1, 2, 3, 80s? Perfect, okay. Yeah, let's take selfie together.
Waiting. Waiting for storm. Every time we saw your when I see your side, there is many funny things.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, hands up high and raise your sign high too. Yeah. Let's take picture together.
Yeah. Let's go. Okay, 3, 1, 2, 3, 18. Wow. Thank you. This time is 1, 2, 3, 18. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 18. Right. Okay, let's start. Oh, Yosan, what do you want to say?
Okay. Forever you're my star.
Oh, forever you're my star. 1, 2, 3, forever you're my star. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Forever you're my star. I love you, Anthony. Really forever. I love you.
So much to me. You guys are amazing.
I think I've grown up with you in a sense, and no matter how old I get, I will always remember you.
You make us happier beyond words, and
Please know that 18 are always going to be behind you 100%.
I thank the universe every day for allowing you guys, the stars, to be on this earth with us.
Celebrated as ourselves. Thank you for bringing so much joy to all of us 18s.
Thank you so much for being such an inspiring and loving force.
Thank you for always giving me strength.
You really helped me through a lot of tough times.
I hope that we can be your light through your hard times.
Thank you for being 8 stars that 18 can look up to. Being our light in the darkness, and thank you for being the sunshine in stormy days.
Thank you guys for working so hard.
Doesn't go unnoticed.
Thank you for being my inspiration to try new things.
You guys are very inspiring. A lot of young people.
Don't give up on yourself.
Thank you for being my safe space,
For helping me exist every day.
for being my healing.
And you bring people together. We met at your last tour, and now we're doing the tour with you guys.
Besties now, and I'm sure a lot of people in this crowd now that have met each other at your shows.
Because 18 is always here to find you. And you know how you always told us to always chase our dreams and always dream big? Well, I'm glad that we're able to do that.
One here makes me cry.
어떡해요? 나 무슨 말을 해야 될지 모르겠는데.
I don't really know what I should say.
어떡하지?
I don't know what to do.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you. Anthony, don't make me cry.
이거 영상 소장할 수 있나요?
Can I save this video?
Yeah. So, okay. I think we don't have to say, like, we don't explain more things, just let's say our emotion start from baby. Yeah. Let's say that. 민기 씨부터 한 번씩 해주시면 돼요. 소감을 그냥 바로 얘기하는 게 좋을 것 같아요.
제가 사실
Truthfully,
되게 그냥 재밌게 오늘 마지막이니까 재밌는 멘트를 이렇게 준비를 했었는데
I prepared a more fun ment because it's our last show.
영상을 보니까 생각이 안 나네요.
But after I saw the video, I can't think of what I prepared.
제가 사실 지금이 가장 저한테는 저를 이겨낼 수 있는 그리고 뭔가 저를 새로 다시 저라는 자신을 뭔가 새롭게 만들어가는 과정인데
I think right now I'm in a place where I'm trying to fight my battles and become a better version of myself.
그 과정 속에서 참 말로 표현은 못하겠지만 굉장히 많은 힘듦이 있었어요.
And through this process, I can't really explain it through words, but I've been through some tough times.
지금 다시 갈피를 잡아가고 있는 이 상황에서 이런 보물 같은 영상을 저한테 선물로 주셔서 너무 감사드립니다.
During this time where I feel like I was just looking for something to grab onto, thank you so much for gifting me this video.
진심으로 여러분들이 제 곁에 있어서 저에 대한 저 혼자 갖고 있는 그런 부담감이 많이 줄어들고 있는 것 같아서 정말 진심으로 감사드린다고 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
From the bottom of my heart, I really want to say thank you so much for being here for me. Thank you.
무슨 말부터 시작해야 될지 모르겠는데
I don't really know where to start.
사실 제가 혼자만이 가지고 있는 생각일 수도 있고 저희 멤버들이 다 가지고 있는 생각일 수도 있는데
Honestly, this could be something that only I've been thinking, or it could be something that my members have also been thinking.
저희가 올해 2번의 투어를 하게 되었잖아요.
But as you guys know, we toured twice this year.
너무나도 감사한 일이고 너무나도 좋은 일인데
And it's such a blessing and such an honor to be able to do that.
저희가 앞으로 어떻게 하느냐에 따라서 이렇게 하면 안 되는데 뭐라 해야 되지? 잠시만요. 이런 정말 많은 에이티니 분들과 이런 큰 무대에서 오래오래 공연하고 싶다라는 생각이 늘 들었어요.
And I think while I was touring, I really thought that, wow, I really want to keep performing with 18s and 80s for a really long time.
그래서 사실 이번 콘서트 준비하는데 정말 많은 걱정과 정말 많은 두려움도 솔직히 있었어요.
To be really honest, while I was preparing for this tour, I had a lot of worries and I had a lot of fears.
이번 연도 처음과는 정말 180도 다른 공연을 보여드리면서 재미있게 보여드려야 나중에 또 에이티즈 공연을 오실 수 있으니까
I think it mainly stemmed from the idea that we had to present to you guys a tour that's completely different from the first tour we did so that you guys will continue to have fun with us.
아까 이렇게 영상을 보는데 사실 에이티니 분들이 해주신 말들 너무 감사하게 막 이렇게 웃으면서 듣고 있다가
While I was watching the video, I was honestly reading the words and being so grateful.
저희 옛날에 되게 조그마한 공연장에서 공연하는 영상들이 막 이렇게 나오는데 거기서 울음이 터져버린 거예요.
But when I saw the video of us performing at a smaller stage, I started to feel tears come up in my eyes.
진짜 4년이라는 시간 동안 시간도 정말 빨리 간 것 같지만 우리가 정말 고생도 많이 했구나.
And it really made me think that their 4 years has been so long but so fast, and there have been so many struggles, but it's been good.
그래서 에이티니 분들한테도 너무 감사드리지만 또 형들한테도 고생했다라고 얘기해주고 싶었습니다.
So I want to say thank you so much for all the 18s, but also to my 80s members. You guys worked so hard.
오늘 이렇게 좋은 추억 만들어주셔서 너무나도 감사드리고요.
Thank you so much for making so many good memories for me today.
사실 제가 오늘 엔딩 멘트 때 할 말은 이런 말들이 아니었거든요.
Honestly, this is not what I wanted to say for my ending ment today.
대신 제가 한마디만 원래 하려던 멘트를 하겠습니다.
I'll say one thing that I was supposed to say.
제가 어제 꿈을 꿨습니다.
I had a dream yesterday.
저희가 이렇게 고생한 만큼
As much as we struggled,
저희 대표님께서 선물을 사주신다고.
our CEO told us that he would give us a present.
대표님,
한번 맞춰주시면 안 되나요?
저 아버지 어디 계시죠? 한번 비춰주세요. 중간쯤 계실 것 같은데?
He's sitting in the middle.
아실 거예요.
거예요. 이게 어두워가지고 아무튼 네, 아무튼.
네, 맞아요. 그래갖고 그냥 이렇게 꿈을 꿨다고 한마디 해주고 싶었어요.
I just wanted to tell you guys that I had this dream.
I think I agree that dream too.
형도요?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, same thing. But 저는 선물이 아니라 보너스였어요.
I also had this dream, but instead of a gift, it was a bonus.
Okay, so let's applause to Jomo.
네. 일단
First of all,
영상에서 제일 인상 깊은 게 이제 에이틴이랑 에이티가 같이 성장을 했다는 그 부분인 것 같아요.
the part that was the most memorable for me in the video was the part that ATEEZ and ATEENY were growing together.
아까 이제 조우가 말했다시피 엑스페디션 투어부터 같이 이렇게 쭉 왔던 에이티 분들도 계실 텐데
As Chongwoo mentioned earlier, there are probably many ATEENYs that have been with us since our first tour.
네, 저희가 정말 많은 분들한테 사랑을 받고 정말 어디에 계시든 무엇을 하든 저희가 무엇을 하든 어떤 노래를 내든 너무너무 많은 사랑을 주시는 만큼 부담감이 사실 정말 적지가 않아요.
We have received so much love for all the songs and all the performances that we've given you guys, but honestly, I did feel a little bit burdened.
근데 이제 그 부담감이 정말 좋은 책임감으로 다가오면서 저희를 더 성장하게 만드는 것 같은데
But that burden has changed into a really good feeling of responsibility.
빨리 하겠습니다. 저희 에이티즈 그룹은 한다면 하는 팀이고 천장도 없고 저희는 끝까지 올라가고 막 먹고 자고 놀고 하면서 우리 높이 올라가고 싶어요 하는 팀은 절대 아니기 때문에
ATEEZ is not a group that is only hoping to be the best. We have no limits. We keep working hard, but we're not trying to be like the top.
저희가 여러분들 배 모신 만큼 끝까지 책임지고 우리 한번 정말 저 높이 끝까지 한번 올라가 보도록 합시다. 오늘 공연 와주셔서 너무너무 감사드립니다. 에이티님 감사합니다.
We will use all the love and support that you guys give us to keep reaching higher with no limits. Thank you so much.
So, me too. I wanna say something to you today, but I thought that before this tour, I decided, I will not cry on this tour, because I cried too much in front of 18, so I had to don't cry. But after I saw the video, you make me cry. It's not my fault. Just joking. Yeah. So today, our tour in North America has come to an end. Yeah. So today is a special day for me because it was our first concert in Canada. And the end of our month-long journey. Yeah. So there are many things I want to say, but I will take a bit about the title of this tour, Break the World. Yeah. Actually, we all face many wars in our lives, right? Yeah. Whether we see the wars or not, we get dejected by them and have tough days sometimes. Yeah. Through this tour, I wanted to tell you that we should no longer be weak in front of the war. No matter the race, gender, or nationality. Yes, we're just strong person all together. So, all the same. So I think someday we can face a new ideal world that we dream of by knocking down the wall we face before us by ourselves or by gathering together. Like the title of this tour, we will always break down the walls in front of us. So I hope you don't avoid any war. Yeah, I hope you don't avoid any war. And gain the confidence to break it. Confidence to break it through our concert today. Yeah. That's it. Thank you so much. And don't make me cry again.
일단 그 마지막 무대를 이렇게 토론토에서 하게 돼서 정말 행복했습니다.
First of all, I'm so happy that I'm able to do the last concert here in Toronto.
진짜 아까 뒤에 영상을 보는데 뭔가 데뷔 초 때부터 뭔가 심적으로 좀 고생을 했던 그런 기억들이 다 수록스럽 뭔가 하나씩 떠오르더라고요.
While I was watching the video, memories of when I was preparing to debut started to creep into my mind.
뭔가 에이티즈로서 활동을 하면서 어느 순간부터 이렇게 심적으로 고생하는 것들을 너무 당연하게 그냥 받아들였던 것 같아요.
While I've been with ATEEZ, I feel like I've really just lived with the fact that I'm have struggles because I'm a member.
뭔가 제가 누군가의 가수고 누군가의 별이 되려면 이건 뭔가 어쩔 수 없이 내가 받아들여야 되는 그런 거다라고 너무 당연하게 생각을 했는데
I felt like I had to go through these struggles to be someone's singer, to be someone's star.
근데 아까 영상이 나오고 뭔가 영상을 보니까 테니 덕분에 진짜 심적으로 위로를 많이 받았습니다.
But after watching the video, I got a lot of emotional comfort from ATEEZ.
테니도 뭔가 이렇게 심적으로 힘들거나 그런 일이 있을 때 언제든 저희한테 기대해 주세요.
ATEEZ, whenever you're going through a hard time, please always lean on ATEEZ.
I love you, 에이티니.
Today's I prepared a lot of words for you, but I want to say more details. So today I tell you Korean. 저희가 제 신념이자 저희 아버지 신념이 나를 사랑해주는 사람이 나를 보러 와주는 사람이 한 사람이라도 있다면 최고의 무대를 보여드려라. 최고의 무대를 보여드리자입니다.
My motto and also my father's motto is that if there's even one person who comes to see me and love me, then I should give them the best performance possible.
항상 이 말을 가슴에 지니고 살았는데 오늘 이 영상을 보니 한 번 더 깨닫게 되는 것 같아요.
I've always lived with this motto in my heart, but after watching this video, I really think that I realized I need to follow it again.
그리고
Also,
이렇게 보니까 한 번 더 확실해졌습니다.
after seeing the video, I've become certain.
꼭 최고의 아티스트가 되겠다라고 확신을 했어요. 약속을 할 겁니다.
I promise to you that I will become the best artist I can possibly be.
저는 여러분들이 제 이성, 동성, 나이가 많건 나이가 작던 그런 걸 다 떠나서 팬도 떠나서 다 제 사람이라고 생각을 합니다.
For me, aside from the fact that you guys are my fans, aside from race, gender, anything else, I think that you guys are my people.
그러니 어떤 일이 있어도 묵묵하게, 꿋꿋하게 잘 나아갈 테니까 언제나 저희 뒤에서 조심히 따라오셨으면 좋겠습니다.
So no matter what, I will keep working hard in silence, and I hope that you guys will be behind me throughout the entire journey.
너무 감사드리고 좋은 밤 보내세요.
Thank you so much and have a wonderful night.
I love you to the moon and back. I love you. 그러니까 알죠.
일명 산타가 선물을 안 준다 그랬는데
They say that Santa won't come if you cry.
이번 크리스마스는 망했어요.
I don't know, I guess I'm not getting gifts on Christmas.
이 영상을 보면서 많은 옛날 생각이 정말 많이 떠올랐어요.
While watching the video, I thought a lot about some old memories.
참 많은 시간 오래도록 저 자신을 많이 원망했었던 것 같아요.
I think that I've hated myself for a really long time now.
스스로에게 언제나 이것까지만 하고 포기하자라는 안 좋은 생각도 되게 많이 했었거든요.
I had a lot of bad thoughts where I would tell myself, oh, after this, like, let's just quit.
그렇게 그냥 하루하루를 그냥 그렇게 그저 시간만 보내고 있었는데
I think day after day, I just kept having those thoughts.
멤버들을 만나고 에이틴을 만나고 또 저를 지지해주는 많은 회사 식구들과 스태프분들을 만나면서 정말 이분들을 위해서라도 내일을 더 지켜봐야겠다라는 생각을 했던 것 같아요.
But after meeting my ATEEZ members, all you ATEENies, all the people at our company and the staff that helped me out, I felt like I need to keep working harder for them.
저희 어머니가 전화하실 때마다 물어보시는 말이 있어요.
There's something that my mother always asks me whenever she calls.
성화야, 너 무대 할 때 정말 행복해 보이는데 행복해?
Songhwa, you look so happy when you perform, but are you happy?
그러면 저는 자신 있게 대답해요.
Then I tell her confidently,
엄마, 나 다음 생에도 ATC 할 거야.
in my next life, I'm gonna be ATEEZ again.
근데 이 영상에서 에이틴이가 저랑 같은 말을 하더라고요.
But in this video, ATEENy said the same thing as me.
영원이라는 단어가 정말 진실이라는 거를 알려주신 우리 에이틴이에게 정말 끝없는 사랑을 드릴 수 있는 그런 사람이자 멋진 아티스트가 되겠습니다.
I will always become a person, an artist that loves you unconditionally because you showed me that forever is the truth.
오늘을 영원히 간직하며 앞으로 더 멋지게 사랑할게요.
I will always cherish this moment and I will keep loving you greatly.
I love you so much. Thank you.
네, 오늘 하고 싶었던 말이 있었는데 머릿속이 지금 새하얘졌네요.
There was something that I had prepared to say, but now my head is so blank.
오늘 이렇게 선물을 준비해 주셨는데 항상 에이틴이한테 응원을 받는다가도 좀 적응이 안 되는 것 같아요.
Today you prepared this present for me, but I feel like every time ATEENy does, I can't really adjust.
항상 이번 투어를 하면서도 뭔가 제 스스로에게 조금 많이 성장이 될 수 있었던 한 달이었던 것 같아요.
during this tour, I think it's been a time where I've been able to grow a lot.
언제나 요즘에 또 꿈을 꾸는데도 많이 꿈자리가 사납고 막 그러거든요. 막 좀비 꿈도 꾸고 이상한 꿈도 꾸고 그러는데
I've been having a lot of dreams lately, like zombie dreams and a lot of other crazy dreams.
오히려 이렇게 무대를 하고 있으면 좀 그런 이상한 생각들이나 근심 걱정들이 사라져서 오히려 지금 이 순간이 꿈만 같아요 저한테.
But when I'm on stage, I forget about all those weird, crazy dreams, and this moment feels like a dream.
언제나 마음을 다잡고 성장할 수 있게 항상 옆에서 응원해 주셔서 너무 감사드립니다, 에이틴님.
Thank you so much, 18, for always staying by my side as I grow.
언제나 에이틴이 곁에 있을게요. 사랑합니다.
I will always be by your side, 18, and I love you.
Yeah. Now, it is virtual the fellowship back the world in Toronto. It is. Yeah. Wow. We cried too much, so I don't know we can continue next stage. But before next stage, yeah, there are many of 18s already cried too. So yeah. So take a relax, and I have to mention one more. Yeah, it is hard to mention everyone one by one, but there has been so many staffs that have been working hard for this tour. Yeah. So can I mention something for them? Thank you. So first, thanks to our KK Entertainment. Especially our boss, Kim Kyu Kim. Thank you so much for him. Thank you. So let's applause to him. He's in here somewhere. So yeah. Thank you so much for him. He gave many energy for us every tour. So thank you so much for every KK staffs, and also CJ E&M for this tour they product many things for us. Yeah, especially our main director Sangmin. Yeah, thank you so much, and MMT, and thanks to our Age and Powerhouse. They really worked hard on site. Thank you so much for them. Yeah. And also, Idenari, who made all the cool music every time. Yeah. Actually, there are no one in here, but I will took a video and I will show to Eden. Yeah. So thanks to him, thanks to Idenari, and BB tripping with us every time. Yeah. You can see next stage, so if you see them, please give many applause, much applause. And also, there are many glamps, who worked with us. They always make us more beautiful and more cooler. Actually, they made us look like K-pop artists. Of course, just joking. Yeah. So thanks to them. Yeah. So from Auckland to Toronto, I appreciate everyone's help. And I love you too. I know. We're always really thanks to the most thankful people is you. So thank you for coming today, and thank you for coming tonight, joining with us tonight. Yeah. So now we have to go to the next stage. Okay? Everyone stop crying. My leg's not good. Yeah. So, next song, we need energy again. So, you all have to stop your crying and you prepare to move, okay? Are you ready? So, we will say goodbye with the real last song. 그럼 지금까지 에이티즈였습니다. 둘, 셋.
MXOT!
감사합니다.